All right, is it working? Yeah, it's working good. Okay, let's see. And I'm going to clap, spike it to know where to cut it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Animation All the Time podcast. I think that's what we called it. I don't know. I got like 2, 3 that I've never done anything with. A lot of irons in the fire, as they would say.
Yeah.
But this is your boy Connor here with
Alex.
I remember with the previous one. I think I was running it as a TV Time Machine, but I like Animation All the Time better. So welcome again to the Animation All the Time podcast, where we talk about cartoons and animation and everything in between. And today we are continuing a series on this page, a real godless series, I might add, talking about the abomination that is Donkey Kong Country, the animated series. And this is the 3rd episode. We have a 4th one, but that's going to remain in the vault. It just is never going to see the light of day. It was recorded in 2020. It's not happening, friends. Thanks, Chris. Anyways, we are talking about Season 1, Episode 7, Kong for a Day. Now, I don't know why I decided it was a good idea to go out of order, but you know what? Shit happens.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what can I do, really? I can't go back and switch it. Those episodes are up. I could take them off, but I'm not gonna. Well, let's just get right into this. So, if you don't know, Donkey Kong Country, quite a cartoon. I mean, visually phenomenal. The voice acting, phenomenal. The motion capture, arugula, just great stuff. And if you want context, this is the highest rated episode, Kong for a Day. And if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I can't remember how generous I was. I think I was giving them like 5s and 6s. This would be like a 6.5. Like, if I was a kid, I'd be all over it. As an adult, to watch back, even though they try and slip an adult humor in, it's almost unbearable at times. It's mind-numbing, you could say. It is sometimes so bad that it's good, but then at the same time, it's so bad that it's like, roll your eyes, like, I can't look. Like, I'm struggling to find the attention to give it. And this is Alex's first episode.
It is. I had not heard of the show until you sent me the link to watch the episode.
Yes.
Now, I'll be honest, I was watching it on the way over here. Well, I had it playing, I wasn't watching and driving, of course. But,
he's lying.
But just the audio itself made me want to drive off the road and... No, I'm just kidding.
Drive off a cliff, yeah.
It wasn't that bad, but it definitely was... it had its... the voice acting was a little cringy.
Oh, man, what are you talking about?
DK didn't sound at all what I thought he would sound. And
okay, but did he at least want a banana?
yes, he wanted lots of bananas, and I think the gator or whatever that pretended to be his voice.
That's King K. Rool. Okay.
No, it wasn't him.
Oh, it was
one of his minions.
Yes, Crunch or
Come on,
whatever.
you're acting like you didn't watch the episode.
So I've seen it. Unfortunately, I've seen this episode 4 times.
Well, you need to watch it a 5th.
It's I know what you're talking. It's the giant buff guy. But,
yes, but he does like his impersonation of DK, and I think he says something like, bananas, always on my mind, bananas, or something like that. And I was like,
yes,
well,
sir.
All right. But, yeah, definitely interesting. And when you first, like, pitched the like, what it's about, kind of thing about it, I loved Donkey Kong 64.
And that's why I invited you to do this with me. I knew you were a fan.
I love that game, and obviously you don't hear their...
Not a lot of chatter.
No, there's none at all. Like,
non-existent.
You just read subtitles, right, of what their speech is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speech bubbles. There's no, like, they just have like
no
their
voice
monkey noises.
Yeah.
They're monkey. They're like, and...
You go down to the local zoo, get next to the cage, you're gonna hear.
All right, that was Chunky. Okay, that was Chunky Kong.
I like how we're so afraid to go like, we're like,
they don't do that though.
Yeah, I know. I know.
At least in the game, Donkey Kong 64 classic. If you haven't played it, play it. N64. But yeah, I was watching it and I was shocked by what I saw and heard.
You sound like you're appalled. No, mind you, this is a show for kids. It is not really for adult consumption in the regards that it might make you bash your head into the wall. And oh my goodness, Candy, which is Donkey Kong's on and off again girlfriend, is quite possibly the most annoying character on God's green earth ever.
Also does not look at all as what she did
horrifying
in Donkey Kong 64.
She looks horrifying in this show. They sexualize the shit out of that character. Yeah. I mean, god damn.
Remember as a kid I was like, monkey boobs in the game, of course, and I was like feeling all sorts of confused.
He just pulled out a cigarette. Dude, put it in your pants, man. But yeah, it's like, it's weird, it's uncomfortable, let alone the voice being an absolute abomination. Now, I'm going to read the synopsis of this episode and really set the stage, because it's quite a doozy. Hush now. Put out that cigarette.
Okay. I'm back.
When King K. Rool and his cronies conspire to make Donkey Kong look bad to his friends, it works even better than they expected. Cranky banishes Donkey Kong to the White Mountains, and the Crystal Coconut reveals Diddy as the new future ruler of Congo Bongo. However, everyone soon realizes that Donkey Kong's shoes are a lot harder to fill when King K. Rool plans his biggest attack yet on the unsuspecting apes. Now, it really is like the episode to just about the synopsis to like every episode, right? Change, a few things around here and there. Get rid of Diddy, the future ruler, blah, blah, blah. There's always some plan to get the Crystal Coconut or get Donkey Kong out of the picture. Don't worry, when we watch some more episodes, I'm going to pick a really bad episode for him next, because this is arguably the best episode. And, particularly for me, why it's the best episode is when Donkey Kong gets banished to the lazily written mountains, White Mountains. It's snowy. It's on an island and it's snowy, so the White Mountains, we have no creativity, so it's the name of the White Mountains. He starts, and Alex didn't know this. This song is like a musical, man. They sing all the time. It's a kid show. They do be singing, right? And there's 2 songs in this episode. The first song, when Donkey Kong gets banished to the White Mountains, is an absolute banger. Okay, banger. Look it up on YouTube. Just type in like Donkey Kong country song. Nobody's Hero, right? Something like that. And it's just good. I don't know why they decided to not go as hard as writing a clever written show, or animate a good show, or have a good show, but they won't.
It's for kids.
I get it, right?
They weren't trying to impress anybody.
They're like, let's spend our entire budget mocapping every character so they have fluent, scary movements because our 3D animation can't keep up with it. And like, yeah, let's do that. Also, let's write a really good song in one episode. Just one, though. Not any other ones. And it's really good. The second song is Diddy is realizing he's made a mistake. He doesn't want to be the ruler, and he's wishing, DK would come back and help him. And it is an annoying, ear-retching. Like, Diddy's character can't sing. Donkey Kong's character, my man's got a beautiful voice. He does. That man can sing.
He does.
Diddy sounds like nails on a chalkboard. He sounds like the dweeby depiction of a American nerd. He's like, oh, I got a squeaky voice. And imagine that, like, Marge Simpson started singing. Like, that's where we're at. It's like, whoa, no. What I would say for this episode is it does a good job of being goofy to make Donkey Kong look like the bad guy. He's not doing anything bad. Like you said, one of the Kremlins is pretending to be his voice and just
hitting on
Donkey or Diddy Kong's girlfriend and making him look like a dick with candy, and the King K. Rool planted like a banana peel at like where the Crystal Coconut. Yeah, they even say that, right? Incriminating evidence. And then Donkey Kong's like, I would never leave a banana with a banana bit. Can I have the banana? And I was like, and it's like a meme. And I don't think Alex has watched any of the other episodes we've done, but one of the episodes I counted in just that episode alone, 44, or just a crazy number. Like, they said banana in the episode like 44 times, like enough to really drive you up the walls. And this was a pretty not as a banana heavy episode, but still, even on the lightest banana episode, banana is said so banana times that banana is really bananaed into your banana, like banana. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like those Uber Eats commercials.
Oh yeah.
We'd like to thank our sponsor. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we'd like to. Nobody sponsors this shit, dude. Nobody's even watching it.
I'm watching
or listening
and listening.
But yeah, so Alex, let's just stop here because this episode is in fact the best. We're not going to go into too much detail. We'll talk about the next episode we watch. But how was your first toe dip into a Donkey Kong Country?
It was interesting. Again, not at all what I was expecting. And they even start the episode. They're having like a barbecue or something with King K. Rool.
Yeah, the villains are there.
Yeah, the villains are there just chilling, like having barbecue or whatever they're eating.
The annual peace day.
Yeah.
Like the ceasefire, so to speak. They're not going to fight each other. This one day we have a barbecue. So, bananas, steaks, of course.
Of course. And that threw me off, watching that because, in the game,
he's the bad guy.
He's the biggest bad guy. Biggest jerk trying to eat all the bananas and take over the little island. And then the show, like, again, this is my first episode, so I didn't watch the previous ones, but
don't need to, really.
They're all buddies.
But we will.
We will for you.
Yes.
For you. But they're all buddies, and it was strange. And again, their audience is children, so they're not going super hard. It's not a Disney movie or anything, but they do what they can with what they got and who they got.
So really, I mean, nostalgically, like I had a couple VHSs. Really, only think I had one VHS, but I'd see it on TV. I mean, I have said this before, and I'll say it again. I don't think it's a great show. I wouldn't even tell you that it's good. I'd say it's okay. It's like serviceable. But one thing I will say is it's really neat to see a character you like get its own TV show that's not totally trash, right? Like growing up, like I remember like the Sonic animated shows, like some were good and some were just not good at all. And like Pokemon nostalgically is good, and Digimon is nostalgically it's okay. And I just actually recently went and watched Digimon, and I was like, better than I remembered, but it like in the second season instantly becomes like a hot mess. And this is at least a dumpster fire from start to finish. Like they are like, this is for kids. We're adding in adult jokes. We're gonna have bad cringy songs, but
Candy,
that is who we are. Candy's like nightmare fuel. Like
would you have your kids watch this?
I would let them watch this because I would hope they also will share these memories. Like, man, I loved that show when I was a kid. I'm gonna watch it as I'm older and then go back and do the same thing. Being like, oh man,
make their own podcast.
Yeah, they make their own Animation All the Time episode about it. It'll be, hey, I got a kid coming out in a few years, like I'll spawn one, as we do.
Good.
And then, this will be the long con, okay? In 15 years, we'll have another episode, all right?
I can't wait.
I can.
And you can't either. Tune in next time.
In 15 years.
15 years.
But really, though, the show for what it is, I think, charming. And that's why I continue to go back to it and dissect it and try and understand what they were doing. Like, what show I'm not going to go back and watch is like Cubex or like all these horrible like WB shows. Like even Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not really...
Oh, careful.
I'm not going to watch a shit ass... Nah, I would. I like that show. I would if you were interested. I
love Yu-Gi-Oh!
If you were down, Alex, we can do Animation All the Time Yu-Gi-Oh! So you're not always stuck doing Donkey Kong Country.
But they weren't much better, story-wise.
And we can... And this is Donkey Kong unrelated, but we have to meme it up real quick about how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a show about the card game that doesn't follow any rules of the card game. So growing up, no one knew really how to play the card game or took time to learn how to play the card game.
And
because the show didn't even follow it, why am I?
They learned their ways eventually. They started putting a rule book with every deck of cards you buy.
Yeah.
So, people started reading,
I don't read.
It's okay. He's doing his chunky impression.
Whatever you did earlier, I can't remember. You're shaking the whole trailer. Oh my god!
I'm sorry, but yeah, I think a nice episode. It's.
Would you watch it again if you were 8? That's always my barometer. If I was 8, I think I'd watch it again
because
I'd love it.
I enjoy all the Mario characters.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's better than that Mario show. I'll tell you that the live action one. Have you seen that?
What?
No, that's another subject for a different time.
There's a live action Mario on.
Don't worry about it.
Oh my god!
Tune in next time.
They cannot do not appropriate my culture and do not have a white male pretend to be Italian, because I won't stand for that. I'm gonna tell you right now. Do not have a. Listen, as somebody who has a black beard, I am not gonna hang if they bring out some güero and dye his mustache black.
Have you seen who they're casting as Mario for the movie coming out?
Chris Pratt. All I'm saying is he said a lot of awful things in his Attack on Titan podcast. And I'm not here for it.
Well, you're here for it now,
I guess. But yeah, the barometer for me is, would I watch this if I was 8? Because that's about the time I was watching it. And yeah, I think so. I'd be down to clown with that. Even I was a little bit younger when it came out, when I was watching it on television. But it's funny, because my parents were just so weird. They're so like, just do everything atypical. Like, go to Blockbuster to buy a VHS. Nah, they go to Crown Books. You remember that?
No,
Crown's Book was this giant bookstore back when bookstores were a thing beyond Barnes and Nobles. And I was looking at books, and I found a VHS of Donkey Kong Country and Sonic, one of the Sonic shows. I can't remember which one. And I was like, oh my god, can I please get this? And they were like, you get one. And the VHS was yellow for Donkey Kong Country, and I was like, well, hell yeah, easy pick. Mm-hmm. Easy pick.
Just like the cartridge.
And I remember one of the episodes that was on it, so we'll watch that one soon, because it actually has a pretty banger song in it too. But that's what I'm saying. If you were a kid and you get an episode where... Because I actually really like the animation. As scary as it can be, I think it's cool. I think it's so unique. And even today, I think it would stand out a ton. And that's cool. I hate how a lot of the animation styles in different cartoons, they really go through trends. Like right now, everything's trying to be that more simplistic style. Like everything kind of looks like Adventure Time or Steven Universe or
show.
What's that Disney one that's really popular? Gravity Falls. And that's fine and dandy. And I see a lot of people knock it, where they're like, I can't believe like Scooby-Doo had some special or show that was in that art style, and they're like, this is ridiculous, this is an abomination. And I'm like, you don't get it though. Like, it's trendy. They do that because it's what's popular. Scooby-Doo is never gonna just stick to that art style, or animation in general is never gonna be that art style. Where I look at this Donkey Kong show, I don't think we're ever gonna see a show animated in that style ever again. I just don't. I don't think they're gonna spend the time and effort to mocap a fully 3D kind of series for kids. It's just not gonna happen. And that's why I think this show is really cool in one hand, and it's a cool, like, a character we grew up with. Like, who didn't pick Donkey Kong and Super Smash Bros. 64 in cliff people on the corner and just throw them off? Like, it's godly. Or trap Link into the down B and just smash him for a ton of damage. It's good stuff. I love Donkey Kong.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the more iconic characters growing up, obviously because you played a lot of Mario games and stuff. But yeah, like you said, if I was 8, I would watch the hell out of the show,
right,
every week.
Yeah, and it was a Saturday cartoon, so it's appropriate, right? And dude, we'll do a different episode talking about how we're getting old. And I was thinking the other day dude, kids don't even, like, they don't get off like school, for example, look forward to a show, or they don't wake up for a show, or they don't look forward to a show. And I was even talking today to someone about how I would run home from the 2nd grade because on PBS you could catch the Magic School Bus, and I was like, well, I'm here for it. But as I got older, in middle school, I was so hyped. It was my favorite block of television ever. You could get home, 6 o'clock would be The Simpsons, 6:30 would be Malcolm in the Middle, 7 would be Malcolm in the Middle, 7:30 would be The Simpsons. It was like the best block, or some variation of that. And mind you, all that stuff's changed, but it would be like, there would be a block where it'd be Malcolm in the Middle, King of the Hill, The Simpsons. And I'm like, that is like the 3 best shows, the most iconic cartoons of my childhood. Like, great stuff. Godly. And now everyone's so spoiled and we just stream it. And I don't know how I feel. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I do think it takes away some of that excitement. Do you remember Sundays on Fox getting excited for a new Family Guy or a new Simpsons or a new Futurama, American Dad, like all these shows coming out relatively close to each other? And not The Simpsons, been around forever, but you know what I mean? It's just, it's different.
And there was no pausing back then, you know.
You gotta take a dump?
Yeah, during the commercial break, you better hurry. You better hurry back. Your siblings yelling, "Hey, it's back home!"
It's like,
you better run back.
Donkey Kong Country, you'd go take a dump because you're like, I can miss it. Like, I take a breath here. But yeah, I just think that, you know, times have changed, and definitely in the animation world, and back to Donkey Kong Country, is this never gets made. If the idea gets pitched today, it never gets made.
No.
Where is really, like, when I'm thinking about it, Nintendo's representation in cartoons, definitely in our era. I know there was an older Mario show that I've seen it. That was like the dollar bin at Albertsons for like ever. I never wanted to watch it because I heard all of my older friends or friends of a friend go like, "Oh, this show sucked," you know. And I'm sure people find it nostalgically. And there's an old Link show and stuff, or a Zelda show, I should say. But is there any representation of any Nintendo shows right now? I was wondering.
No.
Besides
Pokemon.
We should, and that's not barely Nintendo. Yeah. They own like 10% of the company, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, I was thinking about it because I like to write. I'm like, we should write some dank Nintendo IP characters and just start spamming like, "Hey, I got a Star Fox show." Could you imagine a Star Fox show? It sounds daft, and I need it.
And they had a few like good games too that I feel like could be made into a show.
Yeah,
like Adventures, which I didn't like, but yeah, it could be made into a show.
Yeah, Star Fox is on a really bad run.
Yeah,
and by bad run, I often wonder how a game so simple could be turned so bad.
I know.
It seems like you could just give me a couple different levels, reskin them, and give me some different enemy types, and I'd be there. But you somehow keep doing this to us. What's that line Jesse says in Breaking Bad? "He can't keep getting away with this. He can't." That's where I'm at. Right. Well, that was Donkey Kong. And the episode, again, was Kong for a Day. We ranted, and I think that's the whole point, is this show sometimes gets into your brain, and it just, you can't leave. I can't stop thinking about it sometimes when I get on, like, I want to make a new episode, because I'm like, it's such an abomination, and I need more of it. But then I watch it, and I'm like, oh, no. But I'm glad I'm glad I can at least recruit someone to rot their brain with me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for another episode. And like I said, if it was, 2 decades ago, I'll be watching this.
God, don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
Sorry.
2 decades ago.
I'm sorry.
We'd be 9. We wouldn't even be 8. I'd still watch it in the 4th grade. I'd mess with it.
Yeah, I would.
Hell yeah. All right,
of course, it's DK.
This has been Connor with
Alex
for the Animation All the Time podcast. Tune in next week where we talk about election results.